My friend Blair lost a bet, so he ended up having to buy me this Dutch oven. So this is a new Dutch oven I've never used. And I was at my butcher yesterday, and they had oxtail on sale, and I've never made oxtail soup. So in a device I've never used, cooking something I've never cooked, let's try this. This is going to be a long video. I don't know how long the video itself is going to be, but making it's going to be long because this stuff has to cook for a long time. Anyway, we're going to start with heating up our Dutch oven. Now it's very thick, so it heats up very slowly. So my Dutch oven's hot, and I'm starting with 830 grams of oxtail. I'm going to add in some olive oil, and we're going to brown the oxtail. Now we want to brown all sides, and don't put too much oil in because this stuff's got a lot of fat in it. Okay, so as you can see, our oxtail is browned. We'll take them out of the pot, lower our heat to a medium heat. You can see we got quite a bit of more oil in there than, or fat than when we started. Now we're going to throw in vegetables, just some onion, some carrot, and some celery. We're just going to get a bit of color on those. Now, this first part isn't actually the soup. We're going to make a stock first with the oxtail, and then we make the soup later. Okay, after a few minutes, our vegetables have softened up. Now note, we did the vegetables on a medium heat, but we did the oxtail on a high heat because we wanted it to brown, not steam. Now we add a bit of water to deglaze the bottom of the pan. As you can see, all that flavor that was stuck to the bottom is now coming off into what is going to be our stock at some point. Okay, once the pan's deglazed, we put the oxtail back in the pan, or back in the Dutch oven. Try to get everything in there. Now, we cover it with water and simmer it for about 5 hours. First, we're going to bring it up to a boil. make sure everything's covered. We don't want anything sticking above the water. Actually, I think I'm going to add a bit more. So that was about 2.5 liters. Call it adding 3 liters of water, maybe a bit more. So we're going to bring that up to a boil, and then we're going to simmer it. Okay, it's now boiling. I'm going to give it a quick stir. As you can see, there's already a lot of fat coming off of these off this oxtail. So now I'm going to cover it and bring it down to a medium or low temperature, and see you in 5 hours. I almost forgot. At this point, I'm going to add in some aromatics. That's tarragon and rosemary and some bay leaves. I didn't really measure it out. I just kind of took half of what I had. I don't think it'll make that big a difference. It's a lot of liquid. And this is all going to get strained anyway. So we'll just chuck that in there. Now we'll simmer it for 5 hours. All right, 5 hours later, you're still here. Maybe get a life. Anyway, so after 5 hours, this is what it looks like. We've lost a good portion of our liquid. Now we take the oxtail out. Now the idea is we're going to let that cool, and then we're going to separate the meat from the bone and other inedible bits. But as you can see, it's just falling apart now, which is kind of what we were shooting for. And the rest of this has done its job. So now we'll strain off the liquid, and then we'll let that cool so we can scoop the fat off of it. Okay, so this weird camera angle is so that you can see me strain out the stock. Okay, and there we are. Stock has been strained. So after that, you end up with a plate of meat, 334 grams, a plate of bone and cartilage and fat and other inedible stuff at 262 grams, and about 3/4 of a liter of stock. The stock will go in the fridge, and then tomorrow I'll scoop the fat off of that. It won't go to waste though. We'll use it as the starter for our soup, and we'll continue this adventure.